Have you ever thought about how your entire life is kind of like a journey? Well, today we're going to dive into a simple little fable that does exactly that. It's a story about one long climb up a flight of stairs, and it reveals something really profound about the journey we're all on. You see, at its heart, this isn't just a story. It's kind of like a mirror. It reflects the stages we all go through. So as we unpack it, I want you to think about where you are on this climb right now. All right, so our story kicks off with three young men. They're in a foreign country, they need a place to stay, and the only spot they can find is an apartment way, way up high. And how high are we talking? Well, their apartment is on the 75th floor. Yeah, 75. That's a pretty daunting height. But hey, there are elevators, right? So no big deal. Except there's a catch, a really crucial one. The receptionist lays down the law. There's one single, non-negotiable rule. The elevators shut down at 10 p.m. sharp. And once they're locked, they are locked. Nothing can open them. This one rule is what sets the entire story into motion. And of course, what happens? On their second day, they get back at 10:05 p.m., just 5 minutes late. That's it. They argue, they plead, but it's totally useless. The elevators are locked down tight. Their only option? Climb all 75 flights of stairs. So, faced with this monster of a climb, one of them comes up with a pretty clever idea. They're going to break the journey into 3 parts to make it manageable. For the first 25 floors, one of them will tell jokes. For the next 25, another will tell serious stories, and for the final, grueling 25 floors, the third will share stories of struggle. It's a way to pass the time, to get through it. Okay, so the plan is set, and they start climbing. The first leg of this journey, it's fueled by pure, unadulterated energy. This is the climb of youth. I mean, picture this. For 25 straight floors, it's just joke after joke. They're full of strength, and their laughter is just echoing through the entire stairwell. There's no sense of the burden ahead of them, just the fun of the moment. It's that perfect snapshot of being young, right? When life just feels light. But then they cross that 25th floor mark, and you can just feel the shift in the atmosphere. The laughter kind of dies down. The reality of the climb starts to sink in, and the stories they tell start to reflect that. That's when the second guy takes over. His stories, they're different. They're about life itself, with all its complexities and responsibilities. That youthful energy is fading, and it's being replaced by the more steady, measured pace of adulthood. They're still going strong, but now they're carrying the weight of their experiences. And now, they're at the final leg, the home stretch, and it is, by far, the hardest part. They are tired. That initial fun and excitement feels like a distant memory. This is the last leg of the journey, mirroring the struggles and wisdom you accumulate over a long life. The third man starts his stories, and man, are they heavy. We're talking stories filled with pain and suffering. Every single step is a struggle now. They're physically and emotionally exhausted, weighed down by the stories and the climb itself. And then, finally, after all that, they make it. Floor 75. They're just standing there in front of their apartment door, completely spent, but relieved. The journey is over. Or so they think. But right then, as they're about to catch their breath, the third guy, the one with all the sad stories, he turns to them. He says he has one more story to tell, and it's the most painful one of all. He just looks at them and says, "The most painful story is that we left the key with the receptionist on the ground floor. After all that climbing, all that effort, all that struggle, they left the very purpose of their journey all the way back at the beginning." So let's just pull back from the story for a second. Because obviously this was never really just about climbing stairs, right? It's a huge metaphor for the human lifespan. I mean, the parallels here are just striking. Those first 25 floors, that's our youth, full of energy and laughter and fun. The next 25 represent adulthood, where we get jobs, start families, and carry more serious responsibilities. And that final, grueling stretch, well, that's old age, reflecting on the life of hardship and carrying its burdens. Which brings us to the most important part of this whole metaphor, the key. The key represents that one thing that unlocks the meaning of the entire ordeal. It's what makes all the struggle worthwhile, the thing that lets us finally open the door and rest. So, what is the key in your life? Is it your purpose, your relationships with family and friends? Could it be inner peace, or simply the ability to feel joy and gratitude in the journey itself? The story is a huge warning, isn't it? It shows us how easy it is to get so focused on the climb that we forget the very thing we're climbing for. So, this whole story leaves us with a final, really powerful question. As you navigate the laughter, the responsibilities, and the struggles of your own life, what is the one essential thing? What is your key that you absolutely must remember to carry with you? What's going to ensure that when you finally reach the end, your door will open?